Sound check, real quick. Let's see if it works. Trying another microphone again. Sound? Yes, it works. Aloha, everybody. Welcome back, and welcome to Hawaii. I have not really prepared anything for today's stream, so I just talk story about drones. I blew literally all my batteries of my FPV drone, of my Autel, of my DJI Mavic Mini. I literally exerted all 10 batteries of everything, and just to get new info and try out more stuff. And then I just came back, and one thing I gotta tell you guys though is I want to tell you guys thank you so much for everything. I got huge donations on whatever it is, like buy me a coffee kind of thing and all those things. So I have some stuff that I'm gonna give away today. But I also wanted to give a shout out to Magic Mike. Mike sent me a T-shirt that he made. He actually found one of my size, and it's like really cool. So check this out. So that's one of my new favorite T-shirts that I have. So thank you very much, Mike. I totally dig it. I totally appreciate it. And I hope you guys all had a great weekend and have a great weekend right now. So let's go real quick into the chat. I seen Tom Serkey is here. What's up, my man? I see Ken Driesbraw is here. Walter Hall, Magic Mike, JR, and Batuna. I see there's so many. It's getting more and more every weekend. Like so many more people. So if you do have any questions regarding whatever it is, DJI FPV, you guys have questions about camera settings, the Autel Evo 2. I just did 2,150 flights. I have a total of 3,400 miles on this now, and I love it. So besides that, I was flying with this bad boy, and I'm getting more and more into this FPV thing, and I totally dig that DJI cinematic liftoff, scene and lift kind of feel FPV thing. It substitutes as such a great tool that I totally dig it, and I love it, and I got really better. And I'm almost done with the Autel update 2.6.22 video. I just, like I said, I was busy this whole week. So let's jump into the chat, check it out real quick. We have Tom Serkey said, hi, what's up, my man? Then we have Ken. Ken says, checking out this channel for the first time. Welcome, my friend. Guy seems to be a big fan of the Autel, so it should be interesting. I'm a big fan of the Autel. I'm a big fan of drone flying, my friend. I recently got into that DJI FPV thing. I also own a DJI Mavic Mini. So I'm not just an Autel guy, but I know a lot about the Autel. So Walter Hall says, hello, what's up, my man? Aloha to LA, right? He likes Autel, but he's getting into DJI. You see? So Magic says, aloha from Alaska. Walter Hall says, aloha from LA, Alaska. The package made it so far from Alaska. It's crazy. And I can't believe that you actually found a shirt that is going to fit me. So JR says, hello, everyone. What's up? Ken says, I think Autel is the best. Yes, Autel is one of the biggest competitors, I would say, in this price class towards the DJI. I got to compare it towards the Mavic Air 2 just recently. I looked at their footage. I'm not impressed. To be honest, I'm not impressed. It's not because I always do like Autel videos and stuff. It's just, I just think that the quality on this 6K is like so much better. Like, I don't know. I'm not impressed. DJI, you got to do something better. So Walter says, sounds perfect. All right, sound is perfect. Batuna says, what's up, my bro? Ready for Talk Story? Yes, I'm ready for Talk Story. And Slippers Flying, I know that did you unpack your DJI FPV package finally? You haven't done so. You should. So Magic says, damn, great looking shirt. You make me proud. Hey, it's my new favorite shirt. Totally dig it. I love it. And it has the Autel logo on top. So I totally dig it. Eric Hill is here. Howdy. What's up? And we have Sup 32. Where can we find you to ask questions about the Evo, sir? Right here, right now in the chat, whatever you want to do, my friend. We have Paul Emus. What's up? Aloha to San Diego. And we have Mike O'Donnell, bumped that the Triple Tech won't work with the DJI Flap. Yeah, right. What you mean? Mine's one works. I just flew it with the DJI Mavic Mini. The Fly app works on mine's. So I went, if you meaning for the DJI FPV thing, you got to update to 1.3.0. So that one you're going to find directly, I think, in one of my videos because it's Android based. So you got to go onto their website with this, download the stuff straight from there and install it from there. And then the DJI Fly app is going to work with the DJI FPV to activate it. There's not much with the DJI Fly app that you can do with the FPV anyways, because besides activation and changing the colors, it doesn't really do anything, the Fly app, to be honest. The FPV Fly app doesn't do... Most of the settings for the DJI FPV are inside these goggles. And the one thing that I hate about it is that you can't transfer settings from DJI Fly app to the goggles. It would be so much better. Plus, it would be easier for content creators like myself to actually show it off, because I have to put this small camera right here in front of this small tiny screen, and then I have to make sure I don't move the goggles when I go through the settings. It's annoying. It's a pain in the butt. So, bro, I'm still staring at my... Never open it yet. Why not? You need to open your DJI FPV box, bro. You need to fly it. Hot Rod, what's up, Hot Rod? How you doing? Then we have Sup 32 says, what are your settings for camera and flight characteristics? On the Autel Evo, it varies depending on my ND filters. If I utilize ND filters, like the Freewheel ND filters, and their Skyread filters, and Autel brought out some filters too. I use manual settings. I make sure that my aperture never really goes over 5.0, because anything beyond 5.0 with the aperture and stuff, when you play around with it, it comes kind of fuzzy. The image comes kind of fuzzy and it has a different motion blur. I make sure that my FPS settings is always that my shutter is twice the amount of my FPS. So when I film in 4K 60 or 4K 30, then I make sure that my shutter is 1/60. And besides that, I just play around with the lighting, the ISO, the white balance. I usually set them around 54, 5600. And I make sure I have the right ND filter. Right now I'm running a 16 because I just was flying around and had planning sunlight. So for the day-to-day basis, 16 is good. 32 gives you a little bit more f-stops, ND 32. But other than that, it's all manual. I don't use no auto exposure settings, in case you ask about that. Besides that, for the sensitivity settings, when you go, I do the yaw percentage about 50%. I do the brake 100%, and I do the attitude 100% as well. And within the EXP settings, my stuff is usually set to 0.2, like all the way down. What that does is it gives me more smooth stick input, like literally more smooth stick input. Like if you go a little bit forward with the stick, like super slow, the drone goes super smooth. If you put it up to 0.7 or anywhere above 0.4 or 5, and you move the stick forward and your percentage is set a little bit off, your drone is going to jerk forward like this. And sometimes you can see that in the footage. So I hope that helped out a little bit. Mike Miller, what's up, my man? And we have Jack of all trades. What's up? What's up, brother? How's the DJI FPV going? I know you're loving it. Yes, I do. I actually do love it. And I just got from Original Dobo, I got this smooth hookup that I still got to put on the top. Right over here. It belongs on the top like this. So I got to take off these screws. And they have like these 2 screws. And you can put it straight on top. And with that being said, you can put the 4. I put the 1 inch. This is a 1 inch sensor on this Insta360. She's kind of heavy, so I'm gonna try this out in sport mode first before I try anything with manual. But I got pretty good with I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I got pretty good with the FPV flying. So thanks for asking. What else do we have? We have Puna Beach Boy. What's up, Puna? Aloha Hawaiian DJI Mavic Air 2 is gonna be awesome. Or the 2S, yeah, with FPV ability too, coming soon. I've seen that, and I'm kind of interested in it. It's pretty much like the one thing that I haven't looked into is like the camera settings on that. But if the Mavic Air 2S has FPV capabilities, then it's pretty much just an upgraded version of this FPV, because this FPV, like most people say in FPV, it has underpowered motors. So it has a lot of prop wash and it has a lot of things going on with that. But the Air 2S supposedly supposed to have a better camera. Because the camera on this, if you don't have ND filters, they have ND filters for that as well, right here. They have ND filters for this, which is the 4, 8, 16, and 32, I think. Let me see. Yes, 4, 8, 16, 32. They have ND filters for this DJI FPV. And if you don't have any filters and you don't play around with the manual settings, this camera is total trash. Like total. On auto exposure, the FPV camera sucks. It's because you have so many direction changes. It's not like with this where you just keep going in a certain direction, like really smooth. If you don't have any filters for this DJI FPV, that camera is trash. Like if you don't use manual, so like literally, it's total trash. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Walter Hall says original Evo 2 props are getting harder to find. Yes, and that's why I bought like 5 of them, 5 sets at some point. I used all the coffee money you guys can give me. So some people bought me 5 coffees, some people bought me 10 coffees, some bought me 2. So I saved up all that money and finally I transferred it all over. And then with that, I bought me like 5 sets for the original propellers, and I got them for like $100, which is still plenty. But like 5 total sets, that's a lot. Like so. This is still the new set that I got when I got this drone back after I had issues with it. And I have been flying 2,100 something flights now with it. And the propellers are still good because I didn't clip anything. I'm still just doing the real good looking footage. I hate to say cinematic. Most of you guys who know me already, I hate the word cinematic. Cinematic, if you want to go cinematic, dude, you got to have like Inspire 2 and up, like with a super good camera or a Cinelift that has a RAID camera on top. That in my eyes is cinematic. Everything else below that is like, it's just 4K. It's like good shots. You're going to get good shots out of it. Magic says, does it really make a big difference shooting 6K and rendering down as compared to shooting in 4K? Would like to see some side-by-side comparisons. I can do that. The difference is that in 6K, your image is bigger. So you're capturing more of the landscape. So if you want like establishing shots, like to see the whole landscape, and you wanna make the impression that this is huge, like somebody standing by a cliff, and you want to make sure that you see how far away he is from civilization. 6K is a must shot one time. You don't have to constantly film in it, but 6K gives you that whole like it's like huge, like it's like a super wide angle shot and huge. Like you have so much more image to play with. It's real estate that you can play around with. So in 4K, it's a little smaller, and then in 1080p, it looks like just like a framed shot that, you know, you got to play around with the recordings that you have and just make sure that if you do record, let's say you go 1080p or you go 4K or you get 6K, that you always have the same frames per second. So if you want to film in like 2.7K and you go with that, with the 2.7K, I usually shoot in like 120. Because then I can get like those slow-mo shots. Because most of my videos that I upload on YouTube is all 4K. So if you want to create a video in 4K, you can shoot as low as 2.7K and as high as whatever, like 8K, 6K, it doesn't really matter. The difference side by side, if you shoot in 4K and in 6K, is just the size plus the clarity. Image-wise, there's not much difference. It's just the real estate you really get to play with, in my eyes. You know, so when you JR just donated $5. I appreciate it. Sad, so sad for me. I got dizzy when I used the goggles for FPV, so no FPV for me. What? Like really dizzy? Well, the one thing, okay, so if you try this FPV thing, I got dizzy too standing, and I got dizzy just with like jerky movements to the side and stuff. You have to get slowly used to it, okay? So if anything, lean against an obstacle. Like me, I lean against the car and I put my arms on the hood like this. So I literally like leaning on top of my stuff. It helped me a lot instead of just standing there and trying to go like this. Another one is that I've seen some guys do that I met with the FPV part. What they did is they stay like really wide stance with their feet, and then they put kind of like their head in the neck, and they pull up their shoulders a little bit to lock in the neck a little bit, so you don't start doing that whole movement, because you tend to go around and look for stuff, like you start going and looking for things, like you're following your shot, and that's what makes people dizzy. So I hope that sort of kind of like helps you just to sit down. Even if you want to lean your head against something, you can do that too, because you're going to see the image, you know. And that's what helped me a lot, because sometimes I got like some shots are really, really, you know. Okay, so let's see. We were at the 4K, 6K. So we have Tom Ailing just tuned in. Autel shirt looks great. Autel stuff is rare. Well, this is specially made. So if you just tuned in, this was for my Magic Mike. He made this for me. So if anything, if you want to watch the re-roll, whatever, in the beginning of the video, I showed off this beautiful shirt. I have a quick question to all of you before I move on the chat. If you own a Autel Evo 1, just tell me in the chat real quick. If you own an Autel Evo 1, just let me know, okay? So, Sub32 says, appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you for being here, for watching me. Eric Hill says, Autel question. Does obstacle avoidance work at night? Looking forward to some night flying with 107 rule changes. Haven't been able to find answers for this yet. No, it won't. They're optical sensors. They're not going to pick it up. I can tell you that out of experience because I tried it. Because I put the, what is it called? Foxfire, I think. The Foxfire lighting system on the top. Somebody had it. I borrowed it. I put it on top. And at first, I just used it for like strobe and all that stuff, the strobe lighting. So what happened was that as long as the obstacles are like kind of like there, then, and it can see it because of the light being there, it's illuminated, no problem. As soon as I turned those lights off and I was flying, I could see my drone, and it's like literally 20 feet away from me, and I came closer to my house. These obstacle avoidance sensors do not work at night. So if you do want to fly at night, it's best to turn them off, because she's going to really erratically feel weird when she flies, because sometimes due to lights popping up, the drone all of a sudden, the obstacle avoidance all of a sudden kicks in. So when you fly at night, you got to have a spotter who's going to tell you where you're at, and who also knows your drone as well, because the colors on these are different. So you can tell, let me open it. So you can pretty much tell on the color direction of your drone, the colors that are in the front and the colors that are in the rear. And the rear are green, the front are red, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So you're always going to know what direction she's facing, okay? So they blink, and I don't know why there's an option that you can turn them off. It's total rubbish. But they're red, they're green. So you're going to know what direction she's facing. So your spotter got to know your drone too, in case you're looking down to your screen to see what you want to film at low light situation or at nighttime situation. But to answer your question, obstacle avoidance is not going to work at night, bro. Just like that. It's a simple no. Okay. Okay. Mike Miller says, at Eric, no, it doesn't. See, it doesn't. Hot Rod says, so when are you getting the Autel smart controller? I don't know. I guess when it comes up. So Eric Hill says, thanks, Mike. And Mike Miller says, good vibes. Mike Miller also says, I want to know how much that controller is going to cost. That depends on the screen and stuff, I think. If they go like with a 2000 nit freaking screen, the smart controller looks kind of like it stemmed from the Dragonfish controller. So when I looked at that, the Dragonfish controller looks very, very similar to that new smart controller that is cursing around right now. I didn't really find that much information, so I can't really give you anything on it. It looks great, but I think it's going to cost about $1,000 maybe. It's going to be around the $1,000 area, guaranteed. Mike Miller, north of one. See, we have so much in common, guys. Mike Miller, wow, you really think so? I was guessing around 800. It might be around 800. It depends on what technology they're gonna throw in there. You know, I mean, you have it these days. You have a controller that costs you. Oops, it's still charging. You have a controller that costs you $300. Then you can pick up the whole Skyfire aerial set to make it look nice, and that costs you another $30. And then you throw a $600 tablet on top. You're damn close to $1,000 right here. You know what I mean? So it's really like that is all together in one. I don't see why they're not gonna do that whole 1K thing. I think it's gonna be around that area. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate you too. Didn't you say that earlier? So JR said, what would be the best setting to get the 10-bit color on the Evo 2 Pro? If I would go, just go with the log. If you go with the color profile, the color profile for the 10-bit is usually already like the 265. There was an option. Somebody texted me about that earlier, and he asked me about, oh, how can I activate the 265? I know the 265 is gonna 10-bit color automatically activate as soon as you go in your color profile and you choose the log format. The log is now like that. Before, there used to be in the prior updates, there used to be an option that you was able to choose between 264, 265, because people had problems that it wasn't recording in that in log automatically. I think Autel changed that with the past update before the 2.6.22. And that's the reason why it's now automatically in 265 already, the 10-bit. So if you want to play around with colors and you want to do your own color grading, if you know how, I totally suck at it. So, but I got not bad with it, but I mean, you guys see my footage when I do my videos and stuff. And yeah, it's like you got to learn for yourself pretty much. You can't just slap on a LUT. You got to play around with saturation. You got to play around with shadows. You got to play around light intensity, your white balance, the coloring itself, and what LUT you apply, how much percentage you apply on it. It's kind of complicated. So I try to bang the shots out as good as I can, always make sure that the lighting comes from a certain direction. And of course, the time of day plays a big role too. So what else do we have here? Thomas Ailing says, ever get obstacle warning over water? Over water, only from the top when the sun is like really bright. But that hasn't been happening for me lately. So it's pretty good. I turn off my obstacle avoidance usually anyways, like right before the start, I turn it off already. That is like one of the fastest things that I do right off the bat. The one thing I noticed since the update, since 2.622, my attitude initialization takes a little bit longer. Like before it was like that, and now it's like you literally staring at it for like 10 seconds, sometimes up to 20 seconds, and you're like, okay, what's going on with my attitude initialization? But I think it has to do with GPS intensity, like how intense the GPS is or how strong your signal is. And from there, I think the attitude initialization comes in. So I might be in a bad spot once in a while, which is casual here in Hawaii. And we're like third world country. So our GPS, sometimes I fly around with signals of like 3 satellites, you know what I mean? And sometimes I don't even have any satellites. Attitude initialization doesn't even happen for me. So ATTI mode doesn't even come into play anymore when that happens. So, and I don't usually fly when it's in ATTI mode because she behaves erratic, the Autel Evo 2 Pro. I don't like it. You know, I'm not a big fan of the ATTI mode. Stacker Steve says, I have an Autel Evo 1. Is there an easy way to cast my phone screen to a larger monitor? There's no easy way. The more expensive way is the Life Deck. So that's like $400. So yeah, pretty much. So Stacker says, thanks. Hot Rod says, keep in my 808 state that my 2200 nit monitor was only $235, so that screen isn't that expensive. Yes, and I've seen that, and it's a great setup. You send me pictures, it's really great. Do I have the pictures? I'm gonna share the pictures with you guys, if that's okay with you. Let me see. Let me pull up my email real quick, and I'm gonna share those pictures with him, with you guys. So, Hot Rod sent me a really, really nice setup of his pictures. I mean, pictures of his setup that he has. I have so many emails. Oh my goodness. There it is. The Field World. Oh, where did the pictures go? Here's the pictures. There's the pictures. There we go. Okay, let me let me share that screen. Let me turn this off real quick, and I want to show you guys the 2200 nit share screen. The 2200 nit monitor that the Hot Rod is using right there. You see that? That's beautiful. That's like super beautiful. It's a 2200 nit monitor, and it looks really, really, really nice. You see that? The Feel World, and he said it's $235, and it looks really great. And yeah, I mean, the setup is pretty sick. It looks like a lot of work, but it looks pretty sick too. So this is the Life Deck. So he's utilizing that as well. And I mean, it looks great. You can say whatever you like. The bigger the screen and the brighter the screen, the more fun it is to fly a drone. So I just got lucky that Triple Tech sent me this tablet and lets me keep it after the review that I done for them. And it's really, really cool stuff. All right. So what else do we have here? We have Canva is not active in anything above for Canva. I'm lost. I don't know what that stands for. For 10-bit colors, choose log profile. Yes, and 4K, 24 FPS, and 30. Nothing above. Have to have 265 enabled. Yeah. So Walter Hall says, I would love to have the Autel Smart Controller. I think we all do, because we all know already our controller here, which is the Autel Evo 1 controller. So who else of you guys has an Autel Evo 1? Huh? Which one of these settings keeps the gimbal smooth and not slamming when turning? The settings itself, depending on your EXP settings. So like I said, set them all 4 values, set them to 0.2, and then put your yaw control to like maybe 50%, and just try to play with the sticks with that. So I think that would help you not slamming it around, because if it's slamming around too much for you, either you're ripping the sticks or you're not smooth enough on them. But that is going to help you if you set it to 0.2 or you put the yaw control to like 60%. Okay. Johnny Trustel, if that smart controller actually happens, it will be 900 or more, in my opinion. High resolution Retina display at 2000 does not come cheap. Yeah, I know, but the one thing that I know about that is somebody said Retina, and when I read Retina, isn't Retina actually licensed or patented by Apple? And isn't that an Android version thing? So no iOS? Or I have no idea. It sounds weird. Like, I don't know if Autel went hook up with Apple or iOS. I have no idea. I'm confused about that. I have confused info that I researched so far on the smart controller. Hey, what do you think about the new update? Does Autel give you no-fly zone warnings now, and you can turn it off? It does tell me that I am in a no-fly zone, but it pops it up like once in a while on the screen on the top left, but not continuously. Like, I can still fly in a no-fly zone, which not supposed to, but you still can't take off. But there is limitations now, like certain ones, like airports and stuff. Like if you're really close to them, because I have one area where I'm like really, really close to the airport, but I'm not directly anywhere into the fly in, fly out section and stuff. It's just that radius that they give you. And there's a no-fly zone, and I flew there. I just took off, and she wouldn't go over 40 feet. So, and I didn't have to go any further anyways. I tried to go like at least 50 to fit over the trees, but I couldn't fit over the trees. So I just left it that way. I flew in between the trees because it's a really nice area. So I still was flying in the area, admitting it. I hope I don't get dinged for this, but it's FAA. It's a no-fly zone, but I just flew it for like a minute, and I just caught the river, and then I was out of there. So, but it does show you the no-fly zones, and it does pop up constantly on the top left once in a while, like that. You know, the big screen that always pops up on the top, so it can get annoying if you want to get annoyed by it. So, Autel has a pretty good LUT on their website. Kind of hard to find it, but it looks really good when you film in log color. Yeah, with log, like I said, if you want to shoot in log, like Original Dobo said it too, to shoot this in log, it has one of the worst color sciences, and I think they have done a little bit better job since the new updates. And flight characteristic wise, nothing really has changed for me. The one thing I noticed is that new hyperlapse mode, the orbit hyperlapse and the regular hyperlapse. In low light, it still tracks something. So it's not, if I stay in regular hyperlapse mode and I'm looking at something, now clouds are starting to move, and I'm like in the biggest resolution that you can have, and she starts tracking the clouds. Like, it's not going to stay where I'm looking at. which is kind of annoying. And it has been doing it during regular daytime. It has been doing it during sunset. It has been doing it during sunrise. So I'm kind of annoyed by it, and I'm hoping that it's just me or my drone. So I actually wrote a message to Autel, and I'm hoping they're going to answer me pretty soon. Because I'm kind of like, Hot Rod, yes, please share. 2000 nit, I meant to type. Yeah, no, we all know what you meant. I had it at the Florida drone meetup as well. I'm lost right now, Hot Rod. I'm totally lost. I fell behind that thing. I talked too much. Anyways, yo, bro. What's up, what's up, Alika? How you doing? And we have Mike Miller. Are you using the live deck to cast to the monitor at Hot Rod? Okay. Batuna says, soon I will open my FPV. But today I actually cut one of the coaxial cables when I cut the bag open to install the Alien Tech Pro. Yeah, Lolo. Hello. I had to hit myself with the slipper several times. No ways. That's why you don't use a knife. You know, I mean, if you do use a knife, you do not go past whatever. You know, you got to be careful, my friend. That's a lot of money. I was doing search and rescue with the Evo 2 Pro, and you can see better in shadows using HDR compared to my Phantom 2 Pro. Yes, that's correct. HDR is pretty good, but I still prefer the manual mode. But I think for like search and rescue, I think the dual is like really good. I've seen a lot of people using it for that. Yes, at Mike Miller, it's a great setup at the beach because I can let other people watch my flight on that monitor and not have to show them my. Yeah, see, that's the only good part about that freaking life deck that you have. You know, you can pretty much cast it onto something. It takes a few minutes longer because you got to set up all that stuff and pair it up in the drone and all that stuff. But people are actually going to be able to see. And I've seen somebody online, they had a van and they had a big screen in the back with an extra battery and it was powering everything inside there. And they had their life deck in there while they was flying their drone. So they left the back open, so everybody who came and wanted to see him fly, they could see it on the big screen, which was like huge. It was like a 42-inch screen, and that was pretty cool. I mean, for people just walk past, usually they just keep asking you those annoying questions: how far can it go, and how much does it cost, and how fast does it go, and what is the resolution? And that's if you have people who actually know stuff about resolution. But you have all those weird questions, and with this, they just keep staring at that big screen. That's the cool part. It's a great way to share this flying experience with others. Yes, it is. So Mike says, so it costs a lot more than $235 because you have to buy the life deck. Well, the $235 is just for if you don't want to invest into a tablet like this one, which is the Triple Tech, which costs $695. But it's a rugged thing, and it has like water resistance and shock resistance and dust resistance. It's a super solid. You remember that Tough book that came out back then? I think Microsoft brought it out. There was a MacBook or a Tough book. Somebody brought it out. It was really good. Military bought it and all that stuff, and they went the whole 9 yards. They went go out in the ocean and out in the open and into the desert, and they totally dug it. So I think that's what this is supposed to be. It's like a mobile handheld small tablet, but it's perfect for flying drones. And the cool part is, like I said, I fly my Mavic Mini with it. I kind of strap it to this controller because this controller, I hate this controller. This controller is terrible. Like I've seen on Skyfire, they have like this new setup where you can put the Skyfire area setup on it, and I'm looking forward to get my hands on that one day because this controller sucks. Because I'm so used to having my screen above my controller because I started off with Paradigm Afi, who had it above. I went to Autel Evo 2, has it above. And I picked up a DJI Mavic Mini and I had the thing in between. And I was like, what? And it's, in my eyes, it's rubbish to have the screen below. And it feels weird because now I got to take my thumbs off to touch my screen instead of having my hand like this and touching it with my hand. I don't know. It's just, it feels, I'm not used to it. So with this one, I zip tie this big one with one clamp in the back. And then the clamp stays like this. And I have like a screw ball on the top to screw in this because it has a 1/4-inch mount in the bottom. I can just screw it to it. So I utilize it with that. And the Paradigm Afi can fly with it too, but I just use a longer wire and I stand it up on one tripod in front of me. So yeah. Just got my new Triple Tech Pro in great viewing. I also use it at my phone system for work. Yeah, you can use that too. That's the cool part. You throw in your SIM card and you can use it as a phone. The only bad part is you have to put it on a speaker to hear the other person. It's not like you're going to hold that huge thing to your ear. It's going to be on a speaker. You're going to be talking, but you can send text messages and all. Dropped my Samsung and smashed the screen, then dropped it out of pocket into the train. Oh, wow. That sounds like a terrible day. At Art Photography, made it home to catch you. Yes, sir. Aloha. So we came across an interesting ad for Autel Smart Controller. It looks very interesting. Anyone else interested? Yes, we all interested into the Smart Controller, my friend. We're all in it. Everybody wants it. This is helpful info. 4K, 24, 25, 30 with HDR on or HDR off and log mode on. Anything lower res will be 10-bit. Anything higher is not. That's correct. And we have linked that tablet. I have a video on my channel. I can go look for it real quick. If you have two screens and you gotta go around your live stream, it's weird. And I hope my video doesn't come on right now because I have that starting off. Okay, there you go. So there is this video right here, and I'm gonna copy that. In the chat, you're gonna see the link to the video, and on the video in the description, you're gonna find the link to the tablet. I hope that helps. Cool. I will definitely be getting one as it looks pretty smoking. I like to fly in the mountains, and it advertised increased distance. Insane, as with the original controller, I just flew 2 miles. I don't even go that far. Like, I only go as far as I can look at it, and my eyes are getting worse, I think, because my distance is getting shorter and shorter. Yeah, the smart controller means my RC with Alien Tech will be by spare. Yeah, which is sad because you look at it that way, like Alien Tech, all that stuff, it's not cheap. You know, all this stuff is expensive. I mean, look at this table right here. This is expensive stuff. Like, literally, like $1,600 drone there, $2,000 drone there. That's like $3,600. And then you get like extra batteries and you get like extra tablet and stuff. So you're talking like $5,000 right here, just now, just like this. So I seen somebody earlier who had an Autel Evo 1. He said it. Let me scroll up real quick because I have something for him. I hope he's still here. Let's look. Stacker Steve, are you still here? If you are still here, please write into my chat. And then we have Josh Spike. What's up? Aloha to Germany. Wie geht's dir denn da in Deutschland? So, Stacker Steve, I hope you're still there. Do you think the upcoming DJI Air 2S will beat Evo 2 6K in image quality? No, it won't. I don't think so. Unless it has does it have? Let's look it up. I mean, it's not that hard. DJI Air 2S, right? So, it's only spotted, but what is the specs? Is there any specs anywhere? Specs. There's one simple question that you have to ask. But Stacker Steve, are you still here? Specs. Improved camera sensor leaks in new images. So, I don't want to keep you guys out of this, but let's share the screen. At the stream, right there. Oops, commercial. Anyways, DJI Air 2S with improved camera sensor leaks in new images. So, there is reports about a battery. Okay, we got all that. What about the camera itself? It's like so much. So pretty much it all depends on what type of sensor that camera is going to bring. So upgraded version of last year's Mavic Air 2 with an improved camera and compatibility with new DJI accessories like the V2 goggles and motion controller. So I haven't got my, right here. Although that's lower resolution, the 48 megapixel half-inch sensor found in the Mavic Air 2, its larger size should be a big performance. So this one will be the new renders as well as a teaser trailer shared earlier in the week by a reliable leaker show a drone with a 1-inch sensor and 20 megapixel sensor. Okay, so it's still, I don't know. I don't think it will beat it. I hope not. I mean, it would be a great comparison if I can get my hands on one. But I really like if you're not shooting in log and stuff, or even if you're shooting log, I just like the image quality of this. And so far, I haven't seen, even with the Air 2 and all that stuff, and the Mavic Air, the 2 Pro and all that stuff, I'm not a big fan of the image quality. Like, I play around with it in DJI in DaVinci Resolve, and so far DJI has not lived up to its expectations, for my expectations, because I have been flying the 6K so long that I know what I'm looking at, and like clarity wise, sharpness wise, color profile wise, I just dig the Autel better because I don't have this brownish or reddish hue inside what this other lens is giving me in footage wise. Josh said sehr gut, which means very good. It's very good in Germany. So Ken says the new smart controller looks like it has SMA connectors on it, so it's possible you can connect your Alien Tech to it. Hey, maybe that would be something cool. When are we going to see this new Autel smart controller? I don't know. I don't know nothing about the new smart controller, just to be honest. Like right off the bat, I don't know nothing about it. It has a 5.4K 20 megapixel camera. So yeah, that's why I don't think that the sensor is stronger than the Autel Evo 2 sensor. So it will probably not have 10-bit either. I don't know. Air 2 has a 1-inch sensor. Does it? It says over here, although that's a lower resolution than the 48. No, it says the Mavic Air 2 says it has a half-inch sensor with a 48 megapixel. I don't know. I don't own one, so I wouldn't know. With a 1-inch sensor, 808 state, the 2S will be fixed aperture, so sort of takes some of the benefit of the 1-inch and throws it out the window. What? Why would you put a fixed aperture in there? That's stupid. Like, yeah, okay. That's a definite no then. Like, aperture is everything. Like, if you can play around with the aperture and the FPS and the shutter speed at the same time, that's one of the best things that you can get for a camera. So if DJI decides to have a fixed aperture in there, that's total rubbish already, because then it defeats the purpose of everything. Like, this one has, like, this adjustable aperture gives you so much more playroom to play around with it, which is way better. So Mavic Air 2S going to be around $1,400 plus. If you buy Fly More combo and refresh, might as well spend a bit more and buy Evo 2 Pro. That's correct. Yep. 808 state, since you have the DJI goggles, you need a live deck. Then you could HDMI from live deck into the goggles and fly the Evo 2 6K with goggles. Yeah, but I'm not. I mean, if I want to fly a GPS drone in my goggles without the live deck, I can just utilize this bad boy and just fly around in a sport and a normal mode. But I didn't buy the goggles and this FPV for that. I bought it for the scene lift footage, you know. So, and since I got so much more better in flying and know more better about the controls, I utilize this just the way I do now with my tablet, which is great and it's awesome. And I don't really need an observer because I know what I'm looking at and I see my drone. The bad part is if you go out with this, you need a spotter because you have the goggles on, so there's no visual line of sight. So you got to have somebody who's going to be with you, watching you fly the thing, and he's going to give me live info. Oh, there's a car coming in, right? Because sometimes you're flying this way, there's a car coming from the backside. If you turn around within a split second, this thing can end up in his windshield if you don't pay attention, if you know what I mean. So you need a spotter. Picture of it looks slick. Yes, that's the Air 2, not the Air 2S. Oh, okay. DJI has to do something to get Mavic Air 2 buyers on board. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're always going to try to. That's the cool part. That's why you want to have DJI and Autel. You want to have competition. If you don't have competition, there's no development, because then they're just going to hold you to the standard they have, and they're just going to add on a little bit more. I mean, look with the Fly More combo alone. So you buy a drone like this, which is going to be like $1,200 or $1,300, and it comes with one battery. That one battery, if you fly 90 miles an hour with this thing, it's going to burn out in like 5-6 minutes. It's gone like really quick. And then you only have one battery, so you got to go back home and recharge it. So you're going to throw out a Fly More combo for $1,600, and then you still have 3 batteries, and then you get like a total of 20 minutes total flight time if you book it like balls to the walls, like literally. So there's always something that they're going to come up with after. I mean, we all know already how good these cameras are, so we rely on third party to get stuff to enhance the image quality. Why doesn't this drone come already with it? You know what I mean? Like, it's a market, and that's the reason why they always got to come up with something. But the cool part is if they have competition, and DJI at this point has competition with this Autel drone, and even with the Skydio in the tracking mode and all that stuff. Like, Skydio 2 is a huge thing for people who do like action sports and who do bicycling and mountain biking and all that stuff. So they have a lot of competition, and that's the good part about it. You know what I mean? And I mean, competition is the best way of getting something better for us. So the bigger the competition, the cheaper the product, the better the product, and the better they're going to develop and do more. So the one thing that I look forward to is if there's a second version of this coming out with a better sensor and a better camera, because that's why these people buy these kind of drones. They're not buying it for the flying anymore. Like droning has developed from flying something to filming something and film it with a good camera. So you don't want to have no scrappy 1080p rubbish camera, because then you can just buy the ones from Walmart. You know what I mean? So you spending the extra dollars to get exceptional camera and image quality. And that is one of the reasons why I think that the new FPV that is going to come out. The thing is, though, you look at the marketing itself. My question is, there were already goggles out. So how come this one could not fly with the V1? How come this one could not fly with the FPV system they brought out prior with that remote controller? All you have to do is buy the drone. They do that for a purpose, so that you don't have this versatility of switching drones around with the equipment. They want you to buy everything, and then it's a market. It's just like with cars. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to need tires, you're going to need brakes, you're going to need this, you're going to need oil change, you're going to need all those things. And that's simply how the market rolls, and that's what it is. So if you can get the most out of it by buying a whole bundle or a combo and spending a little bit more, that's how they get you to spend a few $100s more. And that's the only purpose, because you get what? Fly Mode combo in comparison is $300 more. Okay. Care Refresh, if you care for it and you buy it, that's another $200. So that's $500 more. You do that 10 times, that's $5,000. You do that 100 times, and guess how many times this thing sold? More than that. You know what I mean? Look alone, this drone alone over here, the 6K. If it costs $2,000 and you sell 300,000, you do the math. 300,000 times 2 is already $500,000, times 10, and so forth, and then times 100 and times 1,000. So that's a lot of money, and that's how they can develop more technology. Of course, they're going to lose out some of the money when there were faulty products that they send out. They have to send it back to you, and they cover with the warranty. And that's pretty much what it is. But that's what droning and market is all about. So it's all about development. It's all about how we can get better. It's all about how we get better products. And of course, you think that when they brought this out, that this wasn't already out of date. Guaranteed there's something way better, you know what I mean, out there. It's just the question probably has to do also with, is it allowed to use? You know, like, I mean, look at Dragonfish. You look at the Dragonfish of the Autel drone, like this Autel Dragonfish. Look at that sucker. That looks straight out of a movie, like a Predator drone. You can put missiles and everything on top. You know what I mean? That's how that thing looks like. Of course, it's great for agricultural, for stuff, and the camera that they get on top, but it costs a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have that money for buy a Dragonfish, but it's good for like farmers. It's good for whatever else is there. You know what I mean? So it's always good to have that kind of stuff. So Josh says, I don't understand why it is not possible to build a display inside the controller like the MP1 or 2. Well, there is a display inside the controller that we have here on the Autel Evo 2 and the Autel Evo 1. You have a display inside there. It's a small display, but you know how it goes. It's always the same like that. You know what I mean? Bradbury just said, super sticker, $5. I appreciate you, Bradbury. I really, really do. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Did you guys see that I almost hit 3,000 subscribers? It's crazy. I almost hit 3,000 subscribers, which is really, really good. And I actually made that based on that. I participated with the flight path. I was one of the FPV pilots that actually could throw in some stuff, and you know what I mean? Like, so I was one of the guys that actually could contribute to his video. And from there, because he asked to subscribe to the people, because he was giving away a Mini 2. So besides that, I know most of you guys have a Autel Evo 2, and randomly we have something going on over here. So randomly, I just picked out one person, one comment, and that is Mr. Walter Hall. Walter Hall, Walter, I hope you're still here. I see that there's a lot of people online right now. So if Walter Hall is still here, please give me a 1 in the bottom real quick. I have something for you. So, aloha, my friend. Time to grind to talk soon. Alrighty, you take it easy, my man. New sub of yours. Great work. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Walter Hall, are you still here? I know that the display inside the Autel, but not the newer DJI Nanny drones. Yeah, well, the DJI brought out the smart controller, yeah? So Walter Hall says he's here. Walter Hall, for you, for your Autel Evo 2, I have a set of low noise propellers. I only took them out the box once, so one set is missing the bags. But you need to email me so I can send these to you. These are for you. Brand new low noise propellers just for you. There you go. They are for you. So please send me an email to right here. Sorry, one finger punch. There you go. Send me an email to that email right there, and give me your address, and I'm going to send out these brand new Autel Evo 2 low noise propellers. I was hoping that Steve is still here, so because he was the only one who actually answered me that he had an Autel Evo 1, because I have also another set of Autel Evo 1 propellers that I would like to give away. So if you own an Autel Evo 1, please let me know, and I can choose one of you guys. That would be great. I know there's a delay of like 20 seconds in my live stream, so I'll just give it some time and I'll just wait. So yeah, Walter, congratulations. There you go. Besides that, if you guys don't have any other questions, I think we talked a lot about everything. My mouth is pretty dry. And I knew that the smart controller was going to be brought up, but I know that the smart controller, I don't really know nothing about it. You know what I mean? That's the thing about it. So Vaisa said, wash hands, wash hands, wash hands. Everyone to wash hands. Yes. Congratulations, Walter Hall. Besides that, I don't really have anything else. Besides that, I'm going to be bringing out the 2.6.22 update. Yeah, I have been doing a lot. The 2.6.22 update. No, Super 32 just asked. Don't have the Evo 1, but need some of those props someday. And Super 32 says, laugh out loud, you're giving out Evo 2s? I need one. I use my father's. Just use your father's one. If you crash it, he'll gonna be able to buy another one. Which Autel model do you use? Which one I use? I use the Autel Evo 2 right here. The Autel Evo 2 Pro. Just the one right there. That is the one that I have. And I have the Autel Evo 1 propellers right here. So if anybody has an Autel Evo 1, you know, I don't give away drones yet. It's too early for that. My channel is only 3,000 subs, guys. So if I will be able to do it one day, I definitely will, because you know me, I always like give back. And yeah, besides that, new upcoming videos that I have is the update for the 2.6.22, which should drop pretty soon. I have one with a comparison where I'm mounting this 1-inch camera, 1-inch sensor camera on top of this drone, and I'm going to be flying it around and see the comparison in it. I hope that the 4K on this works really good on the 1-inch. Besides that, I have the EXP and sensitivity settings video for this one coming out. And yeah, it's 300 subs for now. No, 3,000. I have 3,000 subs for now. Yeah, it's almost at 3,000, I think. I don't really check my analytics. So let me look. Right now I have 2,973. And that is 205 more than the last 28 days. But 100 of those go to FlightPath's contribution, because he's referred me based on his videos. And yeah, so I'm almost at 3,000. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment for me. I mean, I'm not hot for subs or views or whatever. I'm just doing this to help you guys out and share my experience. That's pretty much just to hang with you guys. That's the reason why I do this. Do you like the 2.6.22 update? Which will watch the video. Yes, I actually do. I actually do like the 2.6.22. I had a problem with the prior version where she started drifting, and my horizon tilt was horrendous and it was terrible. And 2.6.22 has been proven for the last 400 flights, no problems whatsoever. Handling is really good, really stable, really solid. I didn't have any disconnection on my controllers, on my live feed, on any of that. It's just a hyperlapse. Like I said, if I stay stationary in my hyperlapse and I'm looking at something and I try to point out if it's based on the circle that I have in the middle, that I'm looking at something, that it locks onto a cloud and it follows that cloud, or if I look on the ground at something so I can still catch the sky, because sometimes I just want to have it to be stationary and just catch the sky, because the way my mountain is over here, the clouds move around the mountain. So in a hyperlapse, it looks really nice. Besides that, what they changed is that the frequency of the way you can take pictures. Before it used to be 2 seconds, now it's every 4 seconds. So it takes a little bit longer. So for a prolonged hyperlapse, usually that last 10 seconds of a video, that stuff is going to eat a whole battery, because the whole shooting part is like 19 minutes. So then you got to calculate that she's sitting up there, she's stabilizing herself, she's spooling up the motor, she's going to, you know, fight wind and all that stuff, but keep an eye on it and just make sure that everything is good. So looking forward to your settings video. Yeah, in the settings, I explain, and I'm going to show in the bureau how the drone behaves with the sticks and all that stuff. You're going to grow fast, and good job on that flight path video. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I hope that I just grow a little bit more. I don't really care about the growing part, because I always have you guys, like this kind of stuff. I have you guys in live stream. I mean, when I first started, I had like, what, 3-4 people. Look, right now I get like 50 people in the chat, you know, and it's I like it because I get to hang out with you guys, and that's the cool part, you know what I mean? And that's what that's why I'm doing this. You're an honest man, that's why I like you. That's why we like, yeah, well, there's no sense for me to lie, because then I put my neck out there, and then people are gonna. The reason I'm gonna repeat it again for those of you guys who don't know me. I started this channel based on my experience of listening to an influencer. So the influencer said that this product is great. I'm not going to say who it was, and I'm not going to say what product it was, but he said it's a great product. I bought it, and the product was trash. It was total trash. It was not as advertised by that influencer. It was not as described. It didn't handle that way, and it was total rubbish. So I was like, why is this? Why do people do this? And they do it because of money. So that being said, I don't need that money. You know, I don't need to grow to be 200,000 subscribers and make it $500,000 a year of this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need any of that. I have a full-time job. That's the reason why I don't pump out a video every day. You know, I work a full-time job. I have a family of 5, and I'm just sharing my experiences, and I have fun doing it. So YouTube is my outlet. That is the reason why I'm here. So there's no reason for me to lie. And if something is scrap, then I'm going to tell you it's totally scrap. You know, I'm just like some other YouTubers out there that's going to tell you this is total trash. You know, and I'm not afraid of doing it because I have my own money in it. The thing is, too, I turn down offers of products when people send me products. I turn down those offers, and I tell them, if you want me to say some stuff and you don't allow me to say some other stuff, negative things about the product, this deal is not going to happen. Besides that, lately I have been offering to, if you want to send me a product, send me 2, or let me give 1 away, so that my viewers have a benefit of watching me, you know, have a chance of winning something, of just giving back to you guys. Because why are you only sending it to me? Just because I'm making the video? No, not just like that. If you want to send me one that I do the video, my payment will be that I can give back to my viewers. So give me 1 extra product so I can give it away. So that's the reason why I do YouTube. So that's the reason why it will always be honest, you know. Okay, I ranted on about that the whole time. I attached my Insta360 X2 with a cat collar and launched from a big clear plastic chair. Wow. Yeah, the X2 looks actually pretty interesting. I was tempted to buy one, but then I picked up the DJI FPV. Now I'm saving up money to maybe pick up the Air 2S. I have no idea. I don't know, man. It's a lot of money, you know. So why is a what? Oh, okay. A sub to you from Aldrin's video. Thank you. I appreciate that. See, that's what I said. Aldrin has bled over to mine, to my channel, really, really good. And people apparently like my content, so which is good. And I'm trying to get better content all the time. Sent you email from. All right, I appreciate it. So Lee said, why is Autel so stubborn? No panel. I know, it's just, I wish they had better intelligent flight modes. I just wish Autel would be better on the intelligent flight mode. I think they can do better. I'm not quite sure what they're focusing on right now, what it is, but yeah. So I do a gimbal calibrate before I launch. Oh, okay, he's talking to somebody else. Jack of all trades. I'm going to try to fly my Evo tomorrow. I'll check the hyperlapse and see if it drifts. I'll let you know. Yeah, it's not a drift. It's okay. So when you do a hyperlapse, just you're looking at something and you're doing a hyperlapse. You usually do the hyperlapse or time lapse. Everything else moves and it's just accelerated, right? But with this one is when I have clouds, she follows those clouds. It still does the same thing and it looks smooth as hell, but she still does those clouds, and that's. Why are you following those clouds? If I wanted that, I would have turned on orbit hyperlapse, you know? So, but I mean, you'll see it in my updated video. So And Jeremy says, I just picked up the DJI FPV. Hey, enjoy it. Get yourself the, here, I'll show it to you guys real quick. Where is it? So I'll show it to you guys real quick in my library of my Steam. Where's my share screen? There's my share screen. So if you go on Steam, Steam is a platform, like a digital platform. There's this liftoff simulator. That liftoff simulator has in their community hub, it has the DJI FPV drone inside there. And all you have to do is you have to subscribe to that person, and then you automatically get it in game. So you'll just have to play around a little bit with it, like workshop wise and all that stuff. You're gonna see it inside there. They said DJI FPV drone right here in the workshop. It's not under. So you go on that, you go on subscribe, and then when you load into the game afterwards, you look under your downloads, and it's going to be in there. That DJI FPV drone in this liftoff simulator, because you're going to be able to utilize this controller, the DJI controller, helps you tremendously to fly better. It has done that to me really, really, really good. So I have been getting better within days, and I haven't crashed this bad boy ever since. Batuna, I had only one issue after the update. Had a front view sensor needed calibration error while in flight. Fixed it using Autel calibration tool. See, I never had that issue yet. So knock on wood, I'm pretty lucky on that. I didn't have to do any of my adjustments whatsoever. Is there any problems that you know of taking your drone to another country for holiday? Only flight-wise, well, different countries. Yeah, I don't know about if you can bring it in. I'm honest, I don't know. I would check if you fly to another country vacation-wise, holiday-wise. I would check with your travel agent or whoever you go through, or contact that country's embassy and see if they know anything about drone regulations, which is pretty much rare. I don't think they're gonna know. Or just call the airport security wherever you're gonna be landing and ask them about if you're bringing a drone because you're a videographer or you're bringing it for a hobby. So that would be one of the things that I would suggest that you could do. Do the footwork and just go for it. You know what I mean? Okay, you guys keep texting me so much. It's been already the 1 hour, so I'm gonna go through all this stuff after. 87 Knot says, made it finally. Aloha. Hey man, quick question on Heron's channel. When he first used the DJI FPV drone, the battery was damaged due to the drone landing on it. Do you have this issue? Design flaw? Well, he crashed it. his sticks at that point, as far as I heard, were spring loaded. So when he first time flew it, when you look at this DJI FPV drone, when she lands like this, I got to turn off this screen so turn off your question real quick. So when you see how she lands, she's going to land on the battery. See that? She's going to land on that battery. But people like Original Dobo have created this super nice battery cover. See that? There's a battery cover right here that you can put on in the back. So you fiddle that through, boom. Battery cover is on there, and you still have accessibility to those buttons for the power. See, but it has like an extended stuff in the back. So now, put that in, plug in my. So now when she lands, she's gonna land on this thing, which is a battery cover. Original Dobo has one, and I think he's selling it on Etsy. They're pretty cheap. Comparison to, it's 3D printed. He did it, and they did a tremendous job of doing it. I mean, it's kind of dark because it's black, so. But it's not a design flaw. It was a pilot error that he crashed it into the ground because the way he flew it, and she literally came down when he pulled the stick backwards. So his one was spring loaded, so it was an accident, and it's not necessarily that it was a design flaw. It is still weird that you're landing on the battery, to be honest, but this drone was made for you to be able to fly FPV up in the sky, do your thing, and then put it back into normal mode, hover, and land. That's what this thing was made for. So it's not made for you to take off in manual if you're not comfortable with it. It's not made for you to land in manual. You know, if you want to, you can. I would not recommend it, and neither does DJI, I think. So that is my suggestion to you about that. What else do we have? I've already downloaded and have been using iLiftoff after watching your video on it, but I cannot find the drone that you said flies like DJI. Okay, so I just showed you that. Let me show it to you again. Share screen right there. We go on to share. There you go. So in liftoff, you go on to community, and then you go on the workshop. And on the workshop, right there, it's the first one. It says DJI. There's also another one, DJI FPV combo. You just click subscribe to it, and then there's when you go back out of it, there's another one, DJI FPV cinematic. I subscribe to that one as well. So the thing is, let me see, does this work if I play this right now? I hope the sound is not gonna get messed up. Let me try. I'm gonna click on play, and let's see if this works. If this works, it's gonna be pretty cool. So if my sound doesn't work anymore, just let me know. So I'm trying to play this right now. Turn it on so I can show you where that stuff is gonna be at. Can you guys still hear me? Somebody in the chat, please. So once it's loaded, boom. Now, when you go onto your regular, oh no, it has sound. So single player, you go on free flight, and then you set it up. Oops. So let's say we fly in here. We just go onto that track, no track. You guys might hear the music from the stuff. Yes, we can hear you. Okay, that's great. So now on the blueprints, there's downloads. So you have the regular blueprints, which are these. Sorry, the music is playing right now on that. So that's the regular blueprints. And then when you go on to downloads, you're going to find the blueprints that you just subscribed to. See that? That's the 3 guys that are subscribed to. That's the 3 drones that you can be using. And you're going to be able to use that with your stuff. I mean, with your DJI controller. So I hope that helped. There we go. Sorry, the music started playing and everything. So that is the way of doing it. Do you think Autel will bring out a smaller drone under? Not sure. Autel, it doesn't seem to be the part for that. I don't think that they're interested in that kind of stuff. I think development-wise and stuff, they don't have the capabilities of doing any of that stuff for financially be supported for it to sell any of that stuff. I mean, I may be totally wrong, but that's just my opinion. I would just like say thanks for your videos. They've helped me pick up the upgrades that work best for me. I appreciate that. I do, and that's what it's all for. It's just to try to help you guys out, save money. And like I said, if any of this stuff is total rubbish, I'm going to point it out to you that it's total rubbish. I'm not afraid of telling you that this product is total shit. Sorry, I just didn't swear. My bad. Hopefully $500. For whatever reason, are recognized dealers having better luck selling the Evo 2? First run Evos sold and so on. Yeah, so it is past my 1 hour, guys. Yes, so I hope this video, I hope this live stream was great for you guys. If it did, please press the like and just refer me over to whoever. Sub if you haven't subbed yet, and don't sub if you don't want to. I'm not gonna force you. I appreciate you guys. I have one more last question for you guys. On Monday, please tune in. I have a very, very, very special guest for Monday's live stream, and I'm going to be talking story in there. So I'm going to be back on Monday. I'm going to have a live stream just for you guys and my guest that have been waiting for so long to get into my show. All right. Until then, don't forget, COVID-19 is still out there to get you. I just got tested this week. So because, extended family and everybody, so somebody tested positive. I had to go through the whole 9 yards. My whole family tested negative, which is good. So COVID-19 is still out there to get you. Please be a nice human. Whatever you do, be nice. You never know what the other person on the other side went through today. So be nice. Give them a smile. Show them some aloha. Wash your hands and wear your mask. Take it easy, everybody. Love you all. Aloha.